watch, please follow the channel. Thank you, Sandra and W Blower. What up, everybody? Good evening, everyone. Thank you, MN Duchess. Thank you, Sandy Lee. Thank you, Dez and Lego. What's up, everybody? Thank you, W Blower, CV. Thank y'all. Great to see everybody. Great to see you, Wendy. At least we got water this morning. Thank you, Lego and JC. Man, you know, I'm of the idea. I have this theory in life as we're walking towards the park, that life tends to balance itself out a little bit. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Snuff Dipper. Thank you, 90. I have this theory that life tends to balance itself out. Thank you, Gene and Deals. I'll tell you what I mean by that. We had a very good day yesterday streaming. Lots of people tuned in. The travel was smooth. Thank you, Britton Davis. I feel like if life was that smooth every single day, then it wouldn't be life. So I feel like God had to throw me a little curveball. Thank you, Paul. I feel like God had to throw me a little curveball. Bodine, Joseph, thank you. I think God had to throw me a little curveball with the hotel with no water. You know what I'm saying? Not everything can go smooth. Thank you, Deals. So I take it all in stride, man. I call it just life balancing itself out. Thank you, A. Jimenez and I Serpentia. That's right, man. I don't want everything to go too smoothly. There's this concept in China. I really believe this concept, man. He's like, in life, how to translate it in English. Thank you, Warrior. It shouldn't go way too well. It shouldn't be too full. Leave a little bit of room. I really subscribe to that philosophy. And that's why I went to sleep last night and brushed my teeth with a bottle of water. Because we ain't had no water. So let's keep moving. Follow the channel. Share this live stream. Great to see everyone. We're just getting started. Now, there's a couple things I wanted to... Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, I Am Cool. There's a couple things I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. Thank you, Coach Tim. So, by the way, man. Airport right next to us. Thank you, Matilda, and Snuff Dipper, and Coach Tim. Thank you, Coach Tim, for the ice cream. All right, y'all. Good evening. Seriously, good evening, everyone. For the folks who did not catch the live stream this morning in USA time, we arrived right around 12 hours ago, right around actually 12, 15 hours ago to this city very close to the border with Russia and very close to the border with North Korea in the Korean Autonomous Region here in China called... Thank you, Snuff Dipper. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Snuff Dipper, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Lil Uzi Juice. We're here in this city called Yanjin, a city of right around 900,000 people, a town of 900,000 people in a special Korean autonomous region called the Yanjin Korean Autonomous Region. Thank you, Blue Jambi and all things. Now, this is a county-level town, which means it doesn't even count as a city. This is not even big enough to be a city here in China. It's a county-level town. In other words, it's a 县城. Thank you, Stacy and Blue Jambi. And yet, look at the flow of traffic. Look at this. The buses are full. Thank you, Slaw and Stacy. I gotta tell you guys this, man. This small town has more life. Thank you, Slaw and Gene. It's got more life and more kick than the provincial capital that I just got done spending 3 days in. There's a lot of kick going on in this town. Last night there was a lot of people until it got to past 10 p.m. There was a lot of people here. Thank you, Arjun and Snuff Dipper. But the same narrative is being played out here in this part of Northeast China. Thank you, Arjun, as what we've seen in other parts of Northeast China, which is mostly senior citizens. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Stacy. Mostly senior citizens walking around, not nearly as many young people. I think it's a similar narrative that I've seen in other parts of Dongbei and other parts of Manchuria. It is a beautiful day. Thank you, German Girl. Thank you, Mira. Thank you, JK, for sharing this live stream. Thank you, Martha and German Girl. Thank y'all very much. Let's keep it moving. Now, thank you, Arjun and Martha Hood. Thank you, Coach Tim. Now, this is once again for the folks who did not catch the stream in the morning. A third of the people here being ethnic Koreans. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, XO. Thank you, Georgia, for the galaxy. The young people typically tend to move to the southern cities with more job opportunities and higher pay. Thank you, Stace. Now, let me keep walking and get through these cars. Let me thank you, Nanny, but thank you, Sandy, for the folks that didn't catch the show in the morning. Thank you, Jay. There's about a third of the population being ethnic Korean Chinese. However, thank you, Gene Bravo and JP. They speak perfect Chinese. They blended in. They're Chinese citizens, so they have Chinese passports, not Korean passports. And even though they are ethnic Korean Chinese, I don't believe they are allowed to Korean Chinese. I don't believe they are allowed to Korean Chinese. I don't believe they are allowed to have dual passports. They here actually identify as Chinese. Does that make sense? Thank you, Jennifer Key. Thank you, Jennifer Key. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Mo Green. Are we still lagging? Thank you, Jennifer Key. Thank you, Nandita and Steven. We good? Look, I'll tell you this, man. Because we're in a smaller town here in China, the cell phone signal hasn't exactly been great. Thank you, Eshep. I apologize, man. The signal hasn't exactly been great over here. The signal hasn't exactly been great here in this small town as we walk down the street over here. But let me explain what I was trying to say before the signal got cut off. The ethnic Korean Chinese people that live here, unless I'm very mistaken, thank you, Lexi, they cannot hold dual passports either, which means they are Chinese citizens with Chinese. How's the signal? Signal's no good. Thank you, Mo Green and Jean and Petunia. The signal's no good. Can y'all hear me? Is it good? It's okay? All right. Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, let me keep walking then. Let me make sure I'm going the right way. Thank you, Caitlin. All right, let me keep it moving. All right, thank you, Eileen. Thank you to Faulkner, Eileen. All right. As I stand in the shade here, let me explain this again for the folks who missed the morning live stream. The Korean Chinese people that live here, the couple 100,000 of them, they all speak Korean. They all speak fluent Korean. Thank you, Jennifer. And many of them, thank you, Jennifer, back in their homes, they actually speak Korean to each other. Thank you, Petunia. But the official government policy is now that when the kids of these Korean Chinese folks go to elementary school, high school, and of course college, they no longer enroll in separate Korean schools. So it used to be the tradition here in this autonomous region that the kids here could choose to enroll in a Korean language school. So essentially, they don't go to the same schools as the kids of Chinese Han descent. They live totally separate academic lives. The things that they learn in school, the language they use in school, totally different. As of 2 years ago, that policy was phased out, and they are now going to Chinese schools. So that is a big policy change that happened 2 years ago. This is a very unique situation here because you think about, one of the biggest messages here in China the last few years that I've lived here. You see it on the posters, you see it everywhere. One of the biggest messages that I've seen here in China is about national cohesion. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. It's all about national cohesion, meaning for the kids who are of different ethnic groups here in China, now they all go to school. I believe this is probably going to be the case throughout China for all types of ethnic groups. They all go to Mandarin schools. They all study Chinese as their primary language. Thank you, Pammy and Ville Marie. However, in order to ensure that their spoken language is still preserved, within their schools, they're going to have special classes every single day that teaches their native language. So for example, if you are going to school somewhere in Yunnan and you are one of the 56 ethnic groups that's recognized, when they go to school, all the kids now actually go to Mandarin Chinese schools. But in their classwork every single day, they're going to be exposed to their own native language in a special class that's taught by someone who speaks their language. Does that make sense? So the big message here, once again, is about national cohesion. It's about 56 ethnic groups, one big family. That's kind of the message that's been going around here in China as I've lived here for the last 5.5 years, and you see the posters on the wall, and you see the way that this country is trying to, you see the messages they're trying to craft. So anyway, because this is an autonomous region, they are granted certain privileges and certain, let's say, certain rights that other regions don't have. So this leads me to my question. This is what leads me to my question. Thank you, Jean. Can the people here, thank you, Martha Hood, thank you, Martha, hold dual passports? Meaning, can they be Korean and Chinese at the same time? Because they are ethnic Koreans that are Chinese, that are living in China. They are descendant from Koreans. Thank you, Petunia. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Petunia. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm trying to work through this crappy signal this morning. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you guys. And I believe the answer is no. They followed the exact, man, I see a freaking fighter jet. Bro, what the hell's going on? I'm near the border with North Korea. There's been fighter jets. Thank you, Olga. Good morning. Good evening, Olga. Good evening, everybody back home in America. Thank you, Olga. I just saw a fighter jet fly over my head. Yeah, good evening, Olga. Good evening. Man, I am near the border with North Korea, and like, this is pretty cool, man. This is the second time I've seen a fighter jet on this trip. Man. Thank you, Olga. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's keep it moving, everybody. And these things are loud, too. Thank you, Olga. Very, very loud. Anyway, all right. Thank you, Jean Bravo. All right. Let me not keep getting distracted. Thank you, Artwork and Jean. I keep getting distracted, y'all. I apologize. All right. So. All right. Thank you, Artwork and Jean. We're headed to the Korean Ethnic Park. All right. It's a man-made park that demonstrates the Korean heritage of this place. And another message for the folks. Another cool piece of information for the folks who did not catch the live stream in the morning. The interesting thing about a place like this here in China is that, 20, 30 years ago, if you came here, the Korean Chinese folks here were the majority. They were 60% Korean Chinese here. Now they are a minority. It kind of makes you wonder what exactly it is that happened in the last 10, 20, 30 years to cause this, right? Is it because more and more ethnic Han Chinese were invited to move in here? Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Good evening, Kevin. Is it because more and more Chinese people moved here, Han Chinese moved here, or is it because ethnic Korean Chinese left the region? We don't know the answers to this question. I don't know the answers to this question. Thank you, James. But you do have to know that now this city is majority Chinese. Majority, it's all Chinese, but it's majority ethnic Han. Which means when you go into a taxi cab, when you go into a restaurant, most of the business owners, thank you, Pond Hopper, thank you, Francesca, most of the business owners, most of the people that you interact with all speak perfect Mandarin. No one's gonna greet you in Korean. Everybody speaks to you in Chinese. So very, very cool. However, all the store signs and everything. Look. A fighter jet, y'all. Thank you, Hufflepuff. A fighter jet just flew over my head. Man, that's beautiful. I don't know what's going on over here, man, but we on the border with North Korea. I don't really know what the hell's going on, but I've seen so much of this. Thank you, Olga and Stacy. Let's keep moving. Let's go to the ethnic park. Let's keep it moving, man. Oh, it's normal. There must be a base nearby here. Thank you, all things. Thank you, Chrissy. Well, you know what? At least they're very respectful. They didn't do it last night when the people were trying to get some sleep. They only do it during the day. So let's keep moving. Follow the channel. Share this live stream. Let's go to the Korean ethnic park. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Thank you, Chrissy. Let's go ahead and get up out of here, man. To be honest, man, I don't really like to be. Thank you, Stacy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I'm not really trying to be close to no military stuff, man. That's got nothing to do with our show. We're trying to show you guys life. I don't want to be close to no military stuff. It's got nothing to do with our channel. So let's keep it moving, everybody. Thank you, Cat Lady. Thank you very much. All right, another impression of this city so far, in the city of Yanjin. So many things under construction. There's a lot of economic activity going on in this city. A lot of fresh cranes that are actually working. You know what I mean? Thank you, Lexi and Tommy Chen. Good morning, Angela Reese. And good evening, everybody back home in America. Thank you, Tommy and Fuel Hill Mill. My biggest impression of this city is that it's very, very well developed. Thank you, Fuel Hill Mill. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, everybody. Can y'all hear it? Thank you to Racing and Steve. Can y'all hear the sound? Can y'all hear the sound behind me? Very, very loud. Y'all can hear it? Very loud. Y'all can hear it? Go on. Let's get up out of here. Thank you. Petunia and Jean, thank you. Josu and Yehoshua, thank you very much. Terry. I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what, guys. Thank you, Terry and Yehoshua, Lil Jane. I'll tell you this, guys. When you've been living in peace for as long as I have, when you've been living a peaceful life for as long as I have, man, you're not really used to hearing all this military stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm used to peace. I'm used to a very peaceful life. I'm not really used to listening to all this fighter jets going over my head. Living in Shenzhen, I've never really seen this before in China. This is very, very, very different. Thank you, Stacy. Go ahead and get up out of here. We're going to the Korean ethnic park over here. Please follow the channel and share this live stream. Thank you, Stacy and Melinda. Get up out of here. Yes, you see Korean writing, absolutely, man. Everything in this city has Korean and Chinese together. Thank you, Joanna. That is the case here in this city. Everything is Korean plus Chinese because it's a Korean-Chinese autonomous region. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. This stuff is tripping me out a little bit, man. This is tripping me out a little bit, y'all. I'm so used to like living in peace. I'm not really used to seeing all these fighter jets and stuff. It's actually tripping me out a little bit. Get them out of here. Get up out of here. See, these folks used to it. I live in Shenzhen where you never see this stuff. So it's like freaking me out a little bit. It is a little bit unsettling. All right, let's go ahead and keep moving. We're walking to the city, we're walking to the Korean ethnic park, which is gonna demonstrate, thank you, Lady Duff. Now this is gonna be a little bit of a rerun of kind of the same knowledge that I shared in the morning stream, but a lot of people weren't awake yet at the time. So how it is that these Korean folks ended up, thank you for the first gift. Thank you, Jonathan, for the heart. This is how did the Korean folks here end up in China from North and South Korea and what was back then just called Korea? Thank you, Kevin and Jay. At the end of the 1800s, right before the Japanese occupation, thank you, Kabiz, thank you, Nana, right before the Japanese occupation of Korea, Korea was not doing very well economically. And a lot of Koreans at the time had, it's estimated about 2 to 3 million of them, fled their native Korea land and traveled north into northern China. So back then, there was no such thing as North or South Korea. It was just one Korea. But the whole concept of North and South Korea is a byproduct of the Korean War. And of course, a byproduct of the communist Soviet Union, the Communist Party of Korea, and also the democratically led South Korea. That's why we have North and South Korea today. But back then, everybody was just called Koreans. They moved to Northeast China for a better life, for more food, more safety, and many of them did not want to be occupied by the Japanese. So for political reasons, they left Korea. Thank you, Josu and Steve. Now, unfortunately for these Koreans that left, very unfortunately, the area that they moved to, this particular region, would actually also be occupied by Japan starting in 1931. Thank you, Steve. So many of them were running away from Japanese occupation. They came to Northeast China, yet the area that they ran to will be also taken over by the Japanese. Thank you, Steve Barr, forcefully in 1931. After the Chinese Civil War ended and the Chinese Communist Party took power and established New China, they all stayed. Most of them still stayed here in China. Most of the Koreans that moved here still stayed in China. They didn't leave. So what do you do with them? They speak Korean, they have Korean dietary habits, they dress Korean. So what do you do with them? Eventually, the government decided to build them their own community called a Korean autonomous region. So this is why you have these autonomous regions, for example, in Xinjiang, in Tibet, and here also in the city of Yanjin in Yanbing Prefecture. This is called a autonomous region, which is usually built, almost always built, for a protected minority group here in China. The Han Chinese people don't have any so-called autonomous regions, okay? The only ones that exist in China are usually for special groups of people that need protection because they are so few in numbers. Their culture needs to be protected, their heritage needs to be protected, they need to be given an enclave to live in. Now, the difference between a Chinese autonomous region and, let's say, an American Indian reservation, thank you, Yvonne, good evening, everybody, good evening, Yvonne, is that in an Indian reservation, you can get away with a lot of things that the US law does not permit. This is why they have casinos on Indian land, because federal law can't govern that land. It is the Indian land. Thank you, nobody of note. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, Jonathan. It's not the same case here in the city of Yanjin. The Chinese law still applies, which means you have to follow the same laws and rules living here if you are a Korean Chinese. However, the autonomous region, they are afforded special privileges that the rest of the country doesn't have, right? Some of those privileges, special holidays. I'm sure that they're gonna get special privileges when it comes to taxes, when it comes to how the money is distributed from the central government here in the province. Thank you, Cindy. So they are afforded certain privileges that the other parts of China doesn't have. Thank you, Kong. So this is what is called an autonomous region. Now, for the folks who are watching, there's another concept here in China called a special autonomous region, an SAR, and there's only two of them. It's Macau, China, and Hong Kong, China. Those are even more different. A special autonomous region doesn't follow the same laws as China. They have their own laws. They drive on a different side of the road. They could use internet, they could use Google, they could use Facebook, they could use Instagram. Thank you, Steve and Anul. So if you go to Hong Kong, China, you don't even need a VPN because their internet is not, they don't have a firewall. When you go to Macau, China, you could still check your Instagram, you could still use all the apps that you use back home. And that is also a part of China. So whereas here in this autonomous region, they still follow the same rules as mainland China, they just have certain privileges that other regions don't have. Does that make sense? So on this, actually on this trip, this is for those of you that have a very good memory. Thank you, Steve Barr and Sunflower. This is actually the second autonomous region that we've been to here on this trip. Thank you, Olga, and thank you, Steve. Thank you so much, Olga. Thank you, Olga. This is actually the second autonomous region that we've been to. The first one, if you remember, was in Guizhou province about a month and a half ago. Thank you, Steve Barr. When we went to the ethnic autonomous region, you guys remember the ethnic parks that we went to, the ethnic villages. That entire region was a ethnic autonomous region. Thank you, Michelle. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, once again, I have to say this again and again. The flavor of life here is almost identical to the rest of mainland China. There's really nothing too different about this place. The only big difference is everything is in Chinese and Korean to accommodate for the fact that there's a lot of people here who still speak Korean and they write in Korean. Every single store sign that you see here, without fail, even the government buildings, this store right here is a little jewelry shop over here. It's all in Chinese and Korean. But otherwise, the neighborhoods look pretty much identical to other parts of China. Thank you, Ash. Thank you so much, Ash. So you have to remember, I never knew that the Korean Chinese people here had their own autonomous region. This is news for me. This is totally news for me. All right, I never knew that. Let's actually go to the other side of the street. There's more life over there. Thank you, Peony. I never knew that these folks had their own special. First of all, I didn't even know that Korean Chinese people were one of the 56 ethnic groups. I didn't even know that. So that's why when I'm on the road, I learn something new every day as well. Thank you, Melinda. So apparently one of the 56 ethnic groups in China is actually Korean Chinese. I didn't even know that. I did not even know that. Thank you, Melinda. So let's keep it moving. Now, when you walk to this part of the city, when you walk to this part of the town, this is when it really starts to feel like a county. And what I mean by that is like there's this very fancy, prosperous area in the middle of downtown. And when you walk here, you can see like this is a county. This is a county. Check this out. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Currency is still using yuan. Currency is still using yuan. They use Chinese money over here. Everything is exactly the same, except they have certain privileges that the other parts of the country doesn't have. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you very much. We're supposed to go walk to the Korean ethnic park right now, but you know what? Since we started streaming so early today, we could walk around for a little bit before we head over there. So let's keep moving, everybody. All right, we got green. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are here in the city of Yanjin. Good evening. Good evening. You know, I gotta tell you guys this, man. Thank you, Joey. You know, I hope I get to meet you guys someday too, man. Thank y'all for all the love and support. And I'll tell you guys this, man. When you're walking around in this place, I said it last night in the morning stream that you can't really tell who looks Han Chinese versus who looks Korean Chinese. I take that back, actually. Thank you, Gene. Thank you so much, everybody. I can actually see some facial differences in the way that people look. I can actually identify a little bit what I think would be an ethnic Korean Chinese walking down the street. Thank you, Ash. By the way they dress, by the glasses they wear. I feel like I could actually tell a little bit. Thank you, Stacy. Let's go keep walking towards the ethnic park. Thank you, thank you, thank y'all. We're more than halfway to our goal. Thank y'all so much. Exactly, Lexi, I agree. I agree, so it's like, I take that back. Last night I was like, you can't really tell. But when I'm walking down the street, I'm like, that's not actually entirely true, man. I feel like I can tell a little bit. Thank you, all things. Let's keep it moving, follow the channel. Thank you, Gene. You know, it would actually be really cool. You know, like on paper, it would actually be really cool. And it would be really, really interesting if these folks here could have dual citizenship. You know, that'd be really interesting, right? Thank you, Bob Dog. What if the Korean Chinese people here could not only have Chinese passports, but they could also have Korean passports? But here's the $1 million question. Here's the $1 million question. Which Korea are they gonna claim? Because a lot of the folks that live here are actually from what is modern day North Korea. So do they really want a North Korean passport if given the opportunity? Right? Thank you, Stacy and Ash, right? Or do they want a South Korean passport? Now, the reason why the Chinese, I never addressed this question before. Have you guys ever wondered why the Chinese government doesn't recognize dual citizenship? Thank you, Melinda. I wondered about that question. Thank you, Melinda, for the travel with. Phil Hill said, you want that South. Thank you, Gene Bravo. He said, why are the cars on the sidewalks? I think if you watch my shows enough, you know why. The cars on the sidewalk because there's no parking spots, man. You gotta park wherever you can. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, iSerpentia. It'd be actually pretty cool, man. I'm serious. It'd be actually pretty cool if they could have two passports, like a Chinese passport and a Korean passport. Yeah, Lee, you wonder the same thing, right? I've always had this theory that they don't allow dual passports. Thank you, Tommy and Marietta. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, everybody. I've always had this theory, man, like it was almost like you're either with us or you're not type of thing. You know what I mean? Like you're either Chinese or you're not. And as soon as you give up the citizenship, you know what I'm saying, that you are no longer Chinese and you go and you belong to another country, but you're still welcome back as a, let's say, a Chinese American or a Chinese Canadian or a Chinese Singaporean, but you are no longer a Chinese citizen. You know, it also makes you wonder, man, like literally everybody listening to this as we're walking down the street over here. Thank you, Gene Bravo. So we're walking to the ethnic park. Look, hear me out on this. You can already start to see certain policies that are going away because of the lack of new birth. Like they need babies here. They need more people to give birth. They need more people to get married here in China because people are choosing not to get married. People are choosing to have fewer babies than ever before. Thank you, Lakeisha. So you can see a lot of policy responses in response. That their arms are tied together, but just last week or this week, they discontinued the policy of allowing foreigners to come to China and adopt babies. That policy has been in place for like 20, 30 years. Couple, or you're British or you're Korean couple, you can come to China and adopt a young baby. And I talked about that a little bit on my live stream last night in the morning time. Well, that policy has gone away. And I'm not saying that these two things are connected. I wonder and think whether or not that's because they're going through right now in the country. You know what's interesting? 16, 17, 15, 16 million newborns as recently as 7 years ago. So 2016, 2017, 2018, 15 million new babies. Every number is down to just over 9 million new babies. Let me say that again. Thank you, Lakeisha and German Girl. You went from 15 million to 16 million new babies a year, now down to just over 9 million new babies. All right? So you almost think like whether or not this country, one of the things I'm so curious about whether or not it's going to happen in my lifetime is whether or not China is going to become a immigrant nation. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not China is going to open up to immigration. I've always been curious about that. This is a super interesting concept, right? Because the United States is the world's largest immigrant nation. Thank you, Dimples and Keto Lee. We have immigrants from all over the world. Thank you, Mela Chupa and Keto Lee. I've always wondered, like, as there are fewer newborns here in China, as people choose to stay single, not get married, more and more so. Thank you, Gene Bravo. Will the country open itself up to immigration to kind of fill in the gap? I've always been curious about that. Maybe they don't open it to every single country. Maybe they start with like Chinese descendants from other parts of the world and give them an opportunity to obtain like a green card or even a citizenship in this country. I've always been curious about that. It's very, very interesting, right? Because this country is getting wealthier and wealthier. Thank you, Nana. It's one of the great nations of the world, and it's economically powerful. And the reality is the population is in decline. So how do you reverse a population decline? You open yourself up to immigration and you let more people in and you introduce new people. That's the way to reverse a demographic decline. So I find that to be, these are all very interesting questions, you know, and I think it's all gonna play out in my lifetime. So it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. Thank you, Good Deed and Lakeisha. Follow the channel and share this live stream, y'all. Frankly, man, I'm not as much of an alarmist. Thank you, Nates and Melinda. You know, I think a lot of people in Western media are very alarmist about the fact that the population is in decline here. They're like, look, their population is in decline, you know, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Melachupa. I personally don't really worry about it that much because you gotta understand, what is one of the biggest reasons, in my opinion, that so many things are so cheap here in China? A haircut is cheap. A taxi ride is cheap. A food delivery is cheap. Why is it that so many things are very inexpensive in China? The reality of the answer, in my opinion, is because of the low labor cost. Thank you, Giselle and Sunny, because there's way too many people doing the same job that labor isn't really as valuable here as it is in Western countries because there's just so many people. So to me, it's not a bad thing that, let's say the population goes down a little bit. Maybe it means that labor is gonna become more expensive, people are gonna earn a little bit more money, you know what I'm saying, and it's gonna make a march towards an advanced economy, a developed economy. Right now it's a developing country, making a march towards a developed economy. Thank you, TLC. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I don't think it's all bad, but I definitely am curious about this immigration thing. You know, whether or not China is going to become an immigration country in the future. That's a very, very interesting question. Thank you, iSerpentia. You know what I mean? It's like, why is it that my cab ride last night was only 85 cents, right? They drive the same cars. They use the same gasoline and electricity as we do back home in America. Why was my taxi ride last night, Jamie, thank you so much, only 85 cents? Well, because the cost of hiring a driver is significantly low, so much, only 85 cents. Well, because the cost of hiring a driver is significantly lower than the cost of a taxi driver. You know, maybe with fewer people, labor is actually going to go up. Things are actually going to cost a little bit more. They're going to get the intended inflation. Because like right now, as we walk towards the park, China and America right now got opposite problems. Thank you, Nipa, and thank you, BB. We got too much inflation. We have too much inflation back home in America. They have no inflation here in China. In many cases, I told you guys, they have deflation. They need what we have. They need some inflation. We need what they have. We need some deflation. Thank you, Patty. So it's like, by the way, I want to show you guys something, man. That's what I love about when you come out to an ethnic area here in China. It's like, I'm going to pause that thought for a second. Okay? You see this right here? You see these red letters over here? Okay? This is what I love about coming to a place like this, because you guys have to remember, man, this is important for so many American people to understand. Here in China, when you look at this right here, when you come out to an ethnic area, you're gonna see a lot of slogans and a lot of propaganda, and there's no negativity. It's a propaganda sometimes is cast in a negative word, but this is actually a positive word, because I'm telling you guys, the more I live in China, the more I realize, man, they really, really care about national cohesion. Thank you, Nip Nai. This right here, it says 共同体意识, which means basically we are all the same. You may be Korean Chinese, I may be Han Chinese, but at the end of the day, we are all Chinese. We are all the same. So it's like, this is very, very obvious when you come out to a region with different ethnic groups, that you can see just how much thought they put into national cohesion. Thank you, Patty. Thank you so much, Patty. And it almost makes you wonder. It almost makes you wonder as an American. See this one right here. That's why I love this. I have to show you guys this, man. Do you guys know why there's a pomegranate over here? Do you guys know why there's a freaking pomegranate on this poster? Does anybody know the answer to this? Does anybody? I'm gonna connect that to the Americans back home in a second. Do you guys know why there's a pomegranate? Anybody know? The reason there's a pomegranate here is because President Xi made this statement a few years ago. He said the Chinese people is like a pomegranate. Each little seed represents a different ethnic group, but we are all one big family. So the pomegranate has become a symbol, ever since President Xi said that a few years ago, of national cohesion in China. He made that statement. He said, we are like one big pomegranate. We are all just little seeds in a pomegranate. So now when you look at a lot of the political stuff that you see all over the streets over here, it almost makes you think like maybe we need a little bit of this back home in America. Thank you, Martha Hood. Because one of the things that I noticed about the Chinese people, here is that they really, really care about this concept of being Chinese, of having a national cohesiveness among all the ethnic groups. 56 of them. They're always like, when you go, I promise you, if you go to Xinjiang, China, if you go to Tibet, China, you're gonna see posters, you're gonna see things like this that's gonna reinforce the fact that you may be Tibetan Chinese, I may be Uyghur Chinese, you may be Mongolian Chinese, he may be Korean Chinese, but at the end of the day, we are all Chinese. Does that make sense? So it's like, this is exactly this one right here. See, so you know what I'm saying? So like maybe it kind of makes you think about back home in America, maybe we need a little bit more of that. You know, thank you, gospel. Maybe we need a little bit more of that back home where we come from. You know, not to say that we need to be like them, but it almost makes me think like there's all this national cohesiveness. Maybe we need a little bit more of that. Less division and more cohesion. And that's honestly the thoughts as a Chinese American walking down the street here who can speak the language, it's very obvious what they're doing. It's very, very obvious what they're doing. It's not, if you just pay attention and when you walk down the street, don't just look straight ahead and pay attention to your surroundings. Like, it's very, very obvious what they're doing. Very, very obvious. Like, they are, that's the word. That's the Chinese word of the day, by the way. This is the Chinese word of the day. Okay? The Chinese word of the day is jia, which is family. Thank you, Gene Bravo. This right here is the Chinese word of the day, jia, family. Like, they are emphasizing the fact that it is one big family. Jia, family. Thank you, Gene Bravo. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, look, every country's got to figure out its own way. There's no one size fit all, man. This ain't a McDonald's Happy Meal, man. This is like, there ain't no one size fit all solution for everything. But I'm telling you guys, man, just sincerely, as me, just like walking towards the Korean ethnic park, and you are here in a Korean autonomous region here in China, it just tells you, man, there's a lot of things that happen in this country. Thank you, George T, and thank you, Neats. It makes you think, like, what are their priorities? What are things that their government is thinking about? They are thinking about cohesion, societal cohesion and harmony, how to eliminate friction from society. Thank you, Zach Mo and Alicia. How to eliminate division in society. And it really makes you think, like, in the environment that we live in today in America, whether or not that's something that we should probably also think about. So let's keep moving. Let's go to the park. Hopefully I'm going the right way. Thank you, Alicia. I got my ticket in hand already. Thank you very much. Got my ticket in hand. We're almost there. Thank you. Yeah, man, you on the opposite side of the pond. That's why every time you see a pomegranate, every time I see a pomegranate, you know right away what that's about. You know what I'm saying? Right away, that's what it's about. The pomegranate and the seeds inside. Very, very interesting concept. When I heard it for the first time, it's a very, very interesting concept. So let's keep moving. Follow the channel. Please share this live stream. Yes, German Girl, please. Thank you for moderating. Wendy, Amu, German Girl, all my moderators. Thank you so much. Thank you. And also, thank you, King Tally, for sending those subs last night. I remember, and I appreciate. Thank you, Nipa, and all things. What happened last night? In the hotel? Well, I went to sleep. Thank you, Bonita. Thank you, Shayna. Thank you, Olga. Well, I just went to sleep, man, because there was nothing. Thank you, Shayna. Thank you, Olga. Well, I just went to sleep, man, because there was nothing else for me to do. I had to go to sleep. Why? That's what I was supposed to do, man. They had no water. They gave me a bucket of water to flush my toilet with. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, everybody. JK, please do what JK is doing. Please share this live stream. Thank y'all very much. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, everybody. We're gonna chill in this neighborhood for 5 minutes, and then not only did I not have shower, I didn't even have a water to flush my toilet. So I couldn't even do the number two last night. Man. I just peed and I went to sleep. There was no water in my hotel, man. I peed and I went to sleep. Thank you, King Tally, for the subs. Thank you, King Tally. I appreciate you. Thank you, King Tally. All right, I'm just gonna show y'all this neighborhood real quick, and then we're gonna keep moving. Thank you. Hey, if you got a free sub from King Tally, please give King Tally a word of thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate the subs, King Tally. I appreciate it. Let's keep it moving. How's the signal, y'all? Thank you, Noor and Melachupa. How's the signal? I appreciate you, King Tally, man. Thank you, Noor and Melachupa. Signal's good? All right, somebody was saying we're lagging. All right, look. This is going to be exactly the same stuff. The Korean Chinese people and the other Chinese people live in the same type of homes. You know what I'm saying? Even though this is a Korean autonomous region, there's really nothing that separates everyday life. What's interesting is if you go to like a, you know, when I was in Yunnan or Guizhou and you go to like an autonomous region for the Yunnan or the Guizhou ethnic groups, they'll actually have distinct buildings that are like very, very culturally reflective of their heritage. Here, the Korean Chinese people just live in this right here. They live the same as the Han Chinese people. They are all the same. They all live in the same apartment buildings. They drive the same cars. They're all neighbors. There's really nothing distinctive. Thank you, LBJ. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lee. There's nothing too distinctive that separates the people that live here from the other parts of the country. It's all the same. So all that is to say, like, this, you know, this is just a small. If you didn't tell me people here are a third Korean Chinese, it looks just like any other Chinese town. If it didn't have all these Korean words on top of every single building, okay, except this one, I guess, I would tell you it's just another Chinese town. Thank you, Gene Bravo. You wouldn't have known at all. It looks exactly the same. Please follow the channel and share this live stream. Now, this is another one of those buildings, no elevators. Climb your ass up and down. Thank you, Patty. You just go over here. You just climb your butt up and down. Just like my childhood. Absolutely beautiful. Y'all ready to climb to the 6th floor? Thank you, Denise. What up, NY crime fighter? Man, thank you, Denise. Look at this. Thank you, Nathan. Seriously, just climb up and down. 3 homes every floor. So 1, 2, 3. These are your neighbors. Typical Chinese layout. My family home is just like this. Well, except my family home's two homes, but just climb all the way up. Very clean. Yeah, very clean. This is how you get your mail. What do you get your mail at? So people might be like, where's your mailbox? They don't really do that over here, man. All the mail gets delivered to your door. So there's really no such thing as a mailbox. They deliver it to your door. Everything gets delivered to your door. It's the electric meter. So typical older Chinese community over here. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to the park. Yeah, everything gets delivered to your door. Like if you could order something heavy and bulky, they'll still carry it up to the 7th floor. Like for example, if you buy a box of water, like I say, you buy a box of Evian water, they'll still carry it all the way to the 6th floor, no matter where you live. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Akaika. We almost 80% to our goal. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the love and support. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep moving, everybody. That's a very, very quiet part of town. I like this a lot better than when the fighter jets were going over my head. This is a much nicer vibe, y'all. I like this. Beautiful. Yeah, I know. That's why it's a little bit different from back. This is, you see, what you just said, you can interpret that as a good thing or you can interpret that as a bad thing, right? Like as China gets wealthier and wealthier and as it becomes a developed nation, the biggest thing you have to understand is that in order to become a developed country, the income needs to exceed a certain threshold, right? I think China just crossed the $10,000 mark on per capita income every year. But you have to remember one thing, guys. Like, for someone to carry a box of water that weighs like 30 pounds, thank you, Lakeisha, all the way up to the 5th floor is very convenient. And they do it for like 70 cents. It's very convenient for the people that live on the 5th floor, but it doesn't value labor the same way that we do back home in America. Because if it was a FedEx driver or a UPS driver that did that exact same thing, they would be paid a lot more. Thank you, Sunny Sunshine, for extending your subscription. Good evening, Andrea. We're going to the Korean ethnic. We're going to the We're going to the Korean ethnic park right now. Yes, please give Olga and King Tally, everybody, for a sub. It will tell you who gave you the sub. So please give them a word of thank you. We're building a great community over here. So let's keep moving. Does that make sense? It's like, in order for this country to become a developed country, labor has to actually cost more. This is the only way. Labor has to cost more. People have to be higher compensated for the same work that they're doing. Taxis have to cost more. Taxis have to cost more. Thank you, Lena. Everything has to cost more here in order to become a developed country because income needs to go up. Thank you, Lena. And prices need to go up. In that case, to be honest, man, the way that came out of my mouth, man, maybe it should just stay a developing country, man, because I like it the way it is. I like the way it is right now. I like my 85-cent cab rides, man. Let's go ahead and stay a developing country, man. We don't need to become a developed country. Not while I'm here, man. You can go ahead and become a developed country when I go ahead and leave and get up out of here, man. I enjoy my 85-cent cab rides. Thank you, JK, for sharing. $1.40, that's right. I enjoy it, man. They could wait till I leave. Let's keep moving. Follow the channel and share this live stream, y'all. Hit that follow button and hit that share button, y'all. Let's keep it moving. I'm here in the northern Chinese city of Yanjin in the Yanbian Autonomous Region. So we're very close to Russia and North Korea. Hello again, everybody. We're keeping it moving. Thank you, OKC. Now, here's a $1 million question I have for you guys. We're actually thinking about going to Changbai Mountain tomorrow. It wasn't a part of our plans, but we're thinking about it. We're thinking about going to Changbaishan Mountain tomorrow. It is like the Mount Fuji of China. It is a snow-capped mountain. Thank you, Sunny. However, the only way to get to Changbai Mountain tomorrow is I have to sign up for a tour group. I have to go with a tour company because it's way too far from here. It's like a 3-hour drive from here. And I can't promise that there's gonna be signal in the mountains. They say there is, but I'm not sure if the signal is like 5G quality. So we're thinking about going there. Tomorrow morning, so it'll be like Friday night. So we're working on it. Let's keep moving. Yes, please keep tapping on the screen. We're over 200,000 likes already. Please follow the channel and share this live stream. Let's keep it moving. You still double tapping, I appreciate it. I appreciate all y'all's love and support. I have slept, man. I slept for like 8 hours. I feel great. Look at this. Beautiful. Thank you, Stan. Thank you very much. I'm telling y'all, man, this town is clean. It is like well maintained. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Jean. It is well maintained. It is clean, man. This is a nice town. Look, frankly, man, there's some small towns in China that I go to, some small counties. Thank you, Jean. That are pretty old, man. Like the town is kind of beat up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like the infrastructure, like the homes look pretty old. No fresh coats of paint. But here, the city of Yanjin is actually very, very nice looking. It's a very nice looking town. Thank you, Jean Bravo. It's actually a very, very nice looking town. I am impressed. Thank you, Annabelle and Jean and Taco. Thank you. All right, man, let's actually go ahead and go into the ethnic village. It was supposed to be a 45-minute walk. I've taken exactly an hour already, and we're not even there yet. So let's go ahead and go right now. Let's go right now. I'll walk past it. I'm gonna make a right turn over here. I just walked just past it. Thank you, Akaika. Thank you. Some people keep saying that we're lagging. Are we lagging today? Thank you, Misty. Thank you very much. We're not lagging? Okay, good. I'm gonna make a right over here. Let's keep moving. Now it's good? Okay, good. Look, this is a small town, everybody. This is a very, very small town, so the cell phone signal hasn't been great. I'll go this way. Thank you, Marlene. This way, make a right. All right, just keep going and make a right. Thank you, Mira. Korean. Spidey, man. Better. What is up, everybody? What is up? We still lagging? Thank you, Baysides. Thank you, Joe J. No, thank you, Baysides. We good? All right. Small town, everybody. Small town. Signal's not as good. I appreciate y'all's understanding. It's a small town. Thank you, All Things. I appreciate you, Baysides, man. I appreciate you, Joe J. We almost there. We're like 5 minutes away. Freaking walking for an hour already. Almost there. Thank you, Lakeisha. All Things. Yeah, man, people in China, they watch me here on TikTok. Of course they do. We're very popular, man. We get watched by a lot of people every single day. Thank you, Tool Guy, man. Appreciate you, Tool Guy. This area is pretty quiet, man. Look at this. This is a northern Chinese city of Yanjin. Look at this. Very peaceful. Thank you, Bates and My K. Look at that. Peaceful living out here. Man. Beautiful. Thank you, My K. You know, people keep asking, where is it? Man, this is northeast China, man. There's just not a lot of people here. You know, look at, man, thank you, Bally Truth. Thank you, More. Look at this. Look at this. Thank you, Bally Truth, and thank you, More. It's just like, you know, it also kind of makes you think, like, this place is so built up with all the residential buildings. Thank you, Bally Truth. Thank y'all. It's so built up with all the residential buildings. Is it all filled? Thank you, Brian. You know, is it all filled? So let's keep it moving. Thank you, Melanin. Let's keep it moving. You see, look, this is supposed to be a night market over here. This is called Nanshan Yeshi. Keep moving. It's quiet. See, now we see some Korean stuff now. Thank you, Colin and Melanin. Finally start to see some Korean stuff. Look at that. No, this is not the hood. It's definitely not the hood. This is just reflective of the demographic shift here in China. Thank you, all things. This is just a demographic shift here in China, you know, and just people. Thank you, Bumper, Melanin, and all things. All right, let's go to the village. Let's keep moving. Thank you, Freeform. Let's go to the village. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, Monkey. Thank you, Bumper. I appreciate that fan account, man. Thank you very much. All right, let's go and get up out of here. Thank you, CKC. Dean. Appreciate y'all. What up, Christopher? Man, this is quiet. Thank you, Cody. Just quiet. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that there's probably not gonna be a lot of people at the Korean Ethnic Park today. Thank you, Cody. Thank y'all, man. I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be a lot of people at the Korean Ethnic Park today. I could be wrong, but we should have the place all to ourselves today. Let's see. Let's keep it moving. Follow the channel and share this live stream. Let's keep it moving. Yeah, I feel great. Oxtail meal was great. The hotel wasn't too great, but the meal that I had last night was great. Make a right turn and we should be there. A little bit pessimistic about what we're gonna see today. I see some tour buses. That's a good sign. All right, man. You know what? Let's just go. F it. Let's just go. Thank you, Bally and Lil Jane. Thank you, Daniel and Shauna. Thank you, Rel. Thank you very much. No, I did not get the shower last night before I went to bed. There was no water. I took a shower this morning, but the water was cold because everybody and their mama was showering in the hotel, using up all the hot water all at once. So I had a cold shower this morning. And this is why I don't actually mind being in the sun this morning. Kind of heat my body up a little bit. Keep going. Well, the thing about cold showers is that, you know, it was the opposite of the verticality that I wanted. It gave me shrinkage, but it's all good. All right, let's walk into the park now. 2 minutes away. Should be this thing on the left over here. Man, it's quiet, y'all. A little bit unsettled by just how quiet it is on a weekday. It's quiet. Very, very quiet. Yeah. Well, my hotel was $20. The hotel is fine. It's just they shut off the water to do pipe maintenance. So let's keep moving. All right. Enough joshing around. Let's go into the park. Let's see. Let's go check out a Korean ethnic park here. Thank you, Patty. Let's go check out a Korean ethnic park here in the city of Yanjin. It's time we go in and let's keep it moving. Yeah, it does, man. There's nobody here. But you see, all these buildings are occupied. I can see this. Look, all these buildings are totally occupied. You can see people hanging their clothes. You can see like just signs of life over here. I guess people are just at work. People actually have to go to work tomorrow here in China. Tomorrow's gonna be Saturday in China. Today's Friday. People have to work tomorrow in China. because the Mid-Autumn Festival that's coming up next Monday and Tuesday, they get 2 days off, but they have to make up for one of those 2 days by going to work tomorrow on Saturday. So this is probably a concept most of y'all back home in the States never heard of. Thank you, Tiffany. Which is, they give you 2 days off, but you need to work on a weekend day to make up for one of those days. They do that here in China. It's called 调休, which means adjust the schedule. So you like that concept? Well, they don't work on Monday or Tuesday, but you got to make it up on a Saturday. So tomorrow is a normal work day. That's why I'm thinking about going to the Changbai Mountain tomorrow, because there should be fewer people. There should be fewer people tomorrow because tomorrow is a work day. Usually on Saturdays, it'll be packed. But tomorrow, because people should be working, we should have what's it called? A nice little quiet day. Keep moving. All right. Huh. It's about to be winter here. It gets very cold here. I don't know, to be honest, I can't really say I'm surprised at what's going on here, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, this is a very clean, very nice, sanitized small town in China. But I'm not really, thank you so much for the heart. They get a lot of snow here. I can't really say I'm surprised at the fact that there's very few people walking the streets. My man's about to go pee. Watch. Thank you, Lakeisha. It's okay. I do the same thing. I ain't gonna be judging. I do the same thing. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's okay. I do the same thing. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I do the same thing. It's all good. When you gotta go, you gotta go. It's all good. Is this the entrance? I see the entrance right ahead of us. Boom. Man, let me be honest with you, man. I'd rather go like him than go into some of the public toilets, because people smoke in there, squat toilets. To be honest, man, I'd rather be one with nature and just do my business out here rather than go into the toilets, man. You know, most toilets are pretty well maintained. Not trying to go to sleep. That image assaults you in your head. You know what I mean? Like, that image comes up to your head, and it makes you unable to sleep. Let's keep moving. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Oh, I did not get water last night. I went to sleep dry. I just washed my face, brushed my teeth, and I went to bed. All right, here it is. Here it is. The Korean Ethnic Park. We made it. Here it is. There's actually a lot of people. I take this back, man. There's actually a lot of people. So let's go in and see what it's about. There's actually a lot of people. How it is that you have all these people on this side of the street, and over here, it's totally deserted. It's like literally 1 block over, there's a lot of people. And over here, there's a lot of people. Over there, it's totally abandoned. You know, they're all here. I was wrong. This is actually going to be pretty crowded today. So let's go in and see what's going on. I've already gotten my ticket. All we got to do is just walk in. Y'all ready? keep moving. All right. This right here is the Korean Ethnic Park. Thank you, Garnita. Let's go in. I see a lot of young people actually dressed up in cosplay. Look at that. There's actually a lot of people dressed up. Oh, this is actually gonna be nice. Look at this. Dressed up in Korean. Look at that. Thank you, Mr. Pineapple. I think it's getting close to 11 a.m. now, if not already past 11 a.m. Whatever time it is on the East Coast is the same time here. Man. All right, let's go in right now. Look at all these folks dressed up. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's go get our ticket checked. Thank you, Shauna. My ticket works. Thank you, Shauna. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, Shauna. Justin, thank you, Jade. Thank you, King and Angela. All right, we made it here, y'all. Thank you, Jade. Into this absolutely, thank you, Pink and Jade, into this absolutely beautiful Korean ethnic park. Now, this is a very, very popular spot for Chinese Instagram. So a lot of ladies and gentlemen of all age groups will come into this park right here. They'll get dressed up in Korean costumes. Thank you, Nandita. They'll dressed up in traditional Korean clothing, like this gentleman right in front of me with the hat on his head. That is a Korean style hat. You see this lady over here? Very, very beautiful costumes, and they'll come over here and take photos. It's basically like you're in South Korea or North Korea without actually flying over there. And you can put it on your Chinese Instagram. You can put it on your Chinese WeChat, Weibo, Xiaohongshu. Thank you, XC. So a lot of people like to come here. So let's keep walking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, look, everybody's dressed up. Look at this, everybody's dressed up. Thank you, C-backs, people of all age groups. It's beautiful. And you can see here. Now, some of y'all may not be able to see thank you, Trina. Some of y'all may be saying, like, this looks exactly like a Chinese building. These are actually supposed to be Korean buildings over here. They look highly similar to Chinese architecture that we've seen really in the last 6-7 months of all the places that we've been to in China, but not as big. Thank you, Dave. Very similar styles. Over here. Absolutely beautiful. Oh my God, it's Friday the 13th. No wonder I took a cold ass shower this morning. It's Friday the 13th. Oh my God, thank you, Deb. Thank you, She. Thank you, Joanna. This now makes sense. It's Friday the 13th. See, this is why I ran out of water last night. That's why I didn't have water last night. And this is why I had to take a cold shower this morning. It's Friday the 13th. It all makes sense now. Thank you, Deb in Oklahoma. I hope nothing else bad happens today. Okay? Let's keep moving. This is beautiful. Let's keep exploring this park. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a lot of people here. I thought there wasn't going to be that many people here. There's actually a lot of people here. You were born on Friday the 13th? All right, you know what? Thank you, Nora. Thank you, George. Look at this. Thank you, George. Thank you, Nora. Shannon. Let's go and keep moving. Kaika and Nora, thank you. I kind of figured out what this place is. It's basically just a very, very beautiful park. You know what I mean? Like, look, Everything is in Chinese, Korean, and English. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Move. See, look at this. Everybody is dressed up, especially the ladies. Thank you, Jonathan. They're beautiful. Thank you, Big Jake. Thank you, Jonathan. Jen, thank y'all. They're playing Korean music over here too. Thank you, Jonathan. So the geishas are actually Japanese. I don't know if there's an equivalent word in Korea. Thank you, Jen and she. Thank you. Let's keep moving. Look at this. Thank you, Jonathan and George and Crystal. Must be nice to be out here. Thank you, Crystal and Jonathan. Look like these people all don't have to work. I love it. On a Friday, ain't nobody working. They just out here. A lot of senior citizens, people who are retired. Beautiful. Thank you, Strickland family. Thank you, Jonathan. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, please keep tapping on the screen and sharing this live stream, y'all. Please follow the channel and share this live stream. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. This is a very sunny day. I can hardly see the screen. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Jonathan. Appreciate you. All right, let's keep moving. So many people looking very, very beautiful and taking photos here. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Jonathan. Let's come in here and see what they got over here. Andrea and Yanjin. We're actually in China, by the way. We're not in Korea. This is a Korean ethnic park in China. Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Philip and Andrea. Thank you, Andrea. What the hell? Wow. Look at that. Oh, yeah, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to soak all this in. So these are obviously Korean-style buildings. Thank you, Super Dave. with all the straw roofs and everything. Yes, please follow the channel. Beautiful. This is a vibe, y'all. So many people dressed up. It's beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. Look at this. People everywhere taking photos. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie and Andrea. So you can come over here, pay a fee, and take a photo in a traditional Korean setting. Look at this. Thank you, Andrea and Jean. Look at this. Thank you, Andrea and Jean. Absolutely beautiful. German girl. Thank you, George. Thank you, Jean Bravo. So my question for everybody back home in America is, do we have a similar culture here, back home in the States, where people are dressing up, going to a certain spot, like let's say a Star Wars premiere, or like maybe like Comic-Con? Thank you, Bally Truth. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Bally. Is it like maybe like a Comic-Con or some type of a cosplay activity? You know, it's just like, it is so common here in China. You know, this is the thing that you guys have to understand about living here in China, is that this country doesn't really believe in the concept of cultural appropriation. Thank you, JT. They don't really believe in the concept of cultural appropriation, meaning if this was back home in America and let's say you were wearing, let's say, Native American clothing or Mexican American clothing or Asian American clothing, you would have a lot of feedback. Thank you, Super Dave, about cultural appropriation. Thank you. We're 80% to our goal. Thank you so much, Dave. Renaissance fairs. That's cool. See, here in China, they do this all the time. So all the different ethnic groups here in China, Civil War, that's a good one. Civil War reenactment. That's a good one. That's a very, very good one. Civil War reenactment. That's a good one. Ethnic Milwaukee festivals. That's another good one. I like that. So it's like, you see the folks, the women who are dressing up in these costumes over here, and they put it on social media, like their Instagram and stuff, they don't have to worry about, you know, being called cultural appropriation. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Brian. They don't have to worry about cultural appropriation at all. There's just no, they don't really have that concept here. So like when you go to Tibet in China and you go see like ethnic Han Chinese people dress up as Tibetan Chinese, especially a lot of the girls, there's no societal negative feedback that says you can't do that. You know, that says it's not insensitive. Thank you, Jean and Jean Bravo and Brave. Thank you so much. Thank you. So very, very different, man. Very, very different. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. Let's keep exploring the park. Yes, Brian and JT, thank you. Please follow the channel and share this live stream. Exactly, man. They're very proud of their culture. You know, thank you, E-Shep. Thank you very much. Let's keep it moving. I'm trying hard to look at my screen because it's very, very bright out here. Let's keep moving. Let's get up out of here. Thank you, Marco. And obviously, it's not a, thank you, JT and Brisket. It's not a surprise that this park is built here on the border with North Korea, right? One of the largest concentration, thank you, Linda, of Korean Chinese people living here. So it's not a surprise that they have this park here. Thank you, RJW. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, Bates. moving. What's going on at the park, man? It's just a normal Friday, man. It's just a lot of people, I guess, don't have to work. You know, a lot of people are retired. There's also a lot of young people here. I guess they don't have to work. I guess they don't have to go to school. You know, there's a lot of people here. Over here. Very much. Is the signal still lagging or is it a little bit better? So a little bit better signal. Is it a little bit better? Good? All right, good. Really, I mean, to be very frank with you guys, man, they're all speaking Chinese. Everybody here is Han Chinese. Or not Korean Chinese. Everybody here is actually Han Chinese. So this is what I mean by the lack of this idea of a cultural appropriation. These are essentially native Han Chinese people who are dressing up in Korean costumes to show their appreciation for the Korean culture. They're gonna put this on their social media. They pay. Like a lot of people pay. This is, you can see people of all ages are doing this. Young, senior citizens, everything in between. Thank you, Coach D. People over here. Some people hire professional photographers. Like this gentleman right here is a professional photographer. This gentleman right here, thank you, Coach D. Some people just take it on their phones. So essentially, I've kind of just come to realize this entire place is basically an Instagram spot. It's a place for people to take Instagram photos and put it on their Chinese social media. This is essentially just a big outdoor, photogenic, scenic spot. And that's what all the people are here for.